Welcome to the Cardano Hotel podcast. To support the show, please delegate to Stakepool Hotel.
Hello, everybody. So welcome to the Cardano Hotel podcast, another episode. This should be a good one because we are meeting Shahaf, the CEO of Koti. So hopefully it's going to be like a quick fire of questions and answers to see what they've been up to, where they are with the project, what the future plans are, how this is all interacting and lining up with Cardano as well. So enjoy it. And if you do, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's go meet Shahaf. All right, so hello, Shahaf. Welcome to the Cardano Hotel podcast. Could you please be so kind as to introduce yourself to the viewers? Who is Shahaf and what is your function in Koti?
Well, first of all, thank you, Alfred. We've been waiting for this podcast for quite a while now, and I'm happy to be here. Alfred, actually, was one of the first people I was introduced to in the Cardano ecosystem. Those who hear the podcast know how instrumental Alfred is, but for those in COTI community who will be watching this later, please check out what Alfred is doing. It's quite amazing. Mm-hmm. Myself, Shahaf Bar-Geffen, I am a co-founder and CEO of Koti. I am 44, live in Tel Aviv, Israel. Prior to Koti, I was the co-founder of Web3 that was acquired by McCann, and then Positive Mobile, which was acquired by Brightcom. I manage Koti, and we have a DeFi primitive called the Crypto Volatility Index, and we are also part of a algorithmic hedge fund called Frequence.
Right. Koti is actually an acronym, right? So what does it stand for?
Yes, Koti stands for Currency of the Internet.
Right. And if you were to briefly describe what is Koti? We know that it is a blockchain. How would you describe it in like a couple of sentences?
So we believe that in the future, currencies will be digitized, whether it will be grassroots like Cardano, or an enterprise like Facebook will digitize currencies, or governments and central banks and so on. Either way, there will be a need for a blockchain that can support mass payments. And for that, we created Koti. It's based on a direct acyclic graph, doing tens of thousands of transactions per second with a very low cost and KYC on chain, and other things that are needed to support the adoption of cryptocurrencies as a form of payment.
Right. So in general terms, maybe without going into any particulars, what are some of the type of products that Koti has developed so far?
So we've developed products around payments mostly. So, cryptocurrency gateways. The most known one for the listeners would be ADA Pay. So when a consumer wants to pay, donate, bid with ADA, he uses ADA Pay as a mechanism. We'll be issuing the JED stablecoin for the Cardano Foundation. But also, build products like the Viper wallet. We have our own debit card and bank account. Mm-hmm. We've created a DeFi primitive called the Crypto Volatility Index, which is like VIX for crypto.
Yep. We'll get into that in a second. So. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Okay. You're using your blockchain uses a consensus mechanism called the trust chain. So can you please give us like a brief explanation of what is trust chain and what are the advantages of that particular consensus mechanism?
Yeah, so the trust chain is overall the name of our blockchain. It uses a consensus mechanism called proof of trust on top of a direct acyclic graph. So our data structure is not based on blocks like your average blockchain, but on a graph, which is probably a bit more scalable in many ways. But with it, and there are some other mainnets around that uses graph like Hashgraph or IOTA or Nano. What we've done differently is the type of consensus. So what it means is that all entities on our network are assigned with a trust score, and we sort of shred transactions based on their trust. So the transactions with high trust score are linked to other transactions with similar mechanisms, and that allows us to achieve a consensus without sacrificing centralization or security at a much higher pace.
Right. And just as your opinion, do you think that other blockchains might also evolve to use a trust chain consensus mechanism in the future? Can you see that becoming more popular, or?
We do see, and essentially we're looking at that as well. Like, how can we use the trust score mechanism or proof of trust for other types of use cases that are not payment related, maybe like proof of authority and all of that. So I do see in the future that other blockchains may use proof of trust as well.
Right. So just to go back to the very start, I mean, you already mentioned COTI Pay, but I guess the very first product maybe perhaps that you came out with would have been COTI Pay. Can you give us a quick sense of what COTI Pay was all about?
Yeah, so COTI Pay is actually a suite of products, all related to our ecosystem and payments. So COTI Pay includes everything from the Viper wallet to what is called COTI Pay for Business, which is like the sort of products that a merchant may use to accept cryptocurrencies as payments. It includes fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, the debit cards, the bank accounts, and everything finance related that runs on top of the trust chain, on top of our chain. If it runs on other chains like Cardano, then it's COTI Pay. We have a similar solution for Ethereum and Bitcoin as well.
Right. Okay. So as a matter of fact, you already mentioned the COTI Pay. A lot of people in the industry know that you have a very intimate relationship with Cardano. So please give us another bit of feedback about what it is that COTI Pay does. And also, I think you have some exciting new features now that are coming out, or maybe already coming out, or under development. So how's it going with COTI Pay?
So COTI Pay is, first of all, as you mentioned, we love working with the Cardano Foundation and with IOG. We have a very close relationship. COTI Pay, the first version, I think, is now 2 years old or something, or maybe even more. So COTI Pay is like a bundle that a merchant can use and easily integrate to his website. And whether he just wishes to accept ADA as a form of payment, or wishes to maybe it's an organization that accepts charities, like Save the Children, then they can adopt that as well as a form of charity and not direct payment. We've also powered auctions. Mostly known one will be the one with Wolfram Alpha. And now just recently at the Cardano Summit, we did quite an amazing auction with the ZZ Top. So everything around that is used. COTI Pay is a tool for that. And to that, we bundle fiat on-ramp and soon off-ramp as well, so that users that don't have ADA can easily buy and transfer ADA, and the merchant can sell his ADA to accept fiat settlement in his bank account.
Yes, I mean, on a personal note, I mean, we have been talking also about maybe implementing COTI Pay in our little hotel as a prototype. So we're still looking forward to more news on that.
I hope you have enough rooms, because you have a lot of ADA whales coming to the hotel. Yes, you don't already have these.
We definitely do not have enough rooms. So
yeah. But by the way, with that in mind, there is a new version of COTI Pay coming out. Like, I don't know when this will be broadcast, but next week we are releasing the new version of COTI Pay that adds a lot of cool features, everything from scalability to other type of features.
Fantastic. So this is really pretty much like an exclusive. You mentioned that you will also.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. You just mentioned that you will also be looking at interoperability, which is sort of like the magical word, for the Cardano blockchain, scalability, interoperability. So I was wondering, and you're already sort of hinting at it, after COTI Pay, might there be like a Solana Pay or a Polkadot Pay or an Ethereum Pay, or how do you see this being structured?
Well, we do prefer to remain in some ways, chain agnostic. Like, essentially, we're building things on other chains that are not the trust chain. We feel that There's the room for a lot of innovation around other chains as well. So right now we do have a solution for BTC, a solution for Ethereum, and of course a solution for ADA. Most definitely, we're looking at other chains. If the demand is there, then we'll be there.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Your plan, I mean, it doesn't stop here because really you are planning on becoming like a next generation complete financial ecosystem, right? And at the very heart of that, you have the COTI Treasury System. I mean, you're also in the process of launching bank accounts and debit cards. I don't know where you are with that, but anyway, the question being, what would be the main characteristic of the COTI Treasury System, which seems to be kind of special?
Yeah, the treasury system kind of takes what's great in DeFi and what is great with Koti's staking system. And in Koti's staking system, stakers are not in charge with securing the network per se, but they are taking, they help us with transactions approvals. So they back the nodes, the full nodes that are in charge of transactions approval, and they are rewarded with part of the transaction fee. So our staking system or reward system is not based on an inflation, but more of a sharing of what those stakers actually help us achieve. So the treasury system will be like a system in the center of our ecosystem in which any Koti native holder can deposit and enjoy the ecosystem's growth. So whether it's fees coming from ADA Pay, or fees coming from the trust chain or from stablecoin issuance, whatever the source is, it will all funnel to the treasury. Users that deposit their Koti there can enjoy rewards.
Right. Something else which I enjoyed reading about is that also it allows users to be able to set their own staking level, their own staking period, and even to determine how the algorithm works, right? And the level of risk, perhaps now, which will then eventually determine the reward, the specific reward and the API. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, for sure. So right now what we have in staking 3.0, which is like obviously the third staking system we've put out there, there's great demand for that system. But it's limited in the sense that you have like specific types of stakes that you can do in terms of size and time. With the treasury system, it's far more capital efficient. So you can stake whatever amount you want,
right,
for how long you want to do that, and actually add some risk level, which kind of works like leverage. So if you're willing to take some risk around prices, then you will enjoy greater rewards. If you are okay with staking for, let's say, 90 days, you will enjoy greater rewards. But it just makes the entire system super flexible. Again, taking what's great in DeFi and merging it with what's working for us in staking.
Yes, it makes it more, like you said, much more of a personalized experience and something that everybody can be comfortable with their own risk and whatever they feel like doing at a particular moment. All right, and then apparently you are the management of risk, leverage also. Manage leverage and risk leverage, you're also taking it sort of to like the next level, because in developing the crypto volatility index, right? So now I understand that the concept of the crypto volatility index is based on the Chicago Market Volatility Index, which maybe people know the options index, which maybe some people might have heard about and others haven't. Tell us what the purpose is of the Chicago Market Volatility Index, and then how this sort of relates to what you're building.
Yeah, so the crypto volatility index is a DeFi product. It's a DeFi primitive. So VIX is a critically important index in traditional finance, and it gives you like a sense. Some people call it the market fear index. It's actually more than just fear. It's also about excitement. Like what's the
like a sentiment index.
Exactly. Yes, it tells you like what's the what people predict the volatility will be in the market for the next 30 days or so. And volatility is usually linked to fear and excitement as well. And this has become a very, very powerful instrument in traditional finance, not just the index itself, but also the trading tools around it. So people can, build. Oh, please go ahead, Alfred.
Yeah, sorry. I have one question regarding that, because now being sort of part of the crypto economy, it seems to me like the fear and excitement are often determined by world events, of which we have no forbearing. So how is it possible to build things that are unknown in like an index where you're trying to forecast the future?
Yeah. So actually, this is that was in the stem of what Professor Dan Galai created back at 1989. The first name for that was actually Sigma. Then when CBOE adopted it and so on, VIX became the name and the trademark. We've actually worked with Professor Dan Galai.
Yes.
Luckily enough, he lives in Israel, to create the crypto volatility index. And the way the formula works is a Black-Scholes model that actually looks at the price of options.
Right.
And in like 30 days and inside and outside the money, because the price of options can tell you a lot about sentiment, right? Because
right, okay.
spot trading would be the first floor, then derivatives and options tell you this is what I'm willing to pay about over time. Yeah. And volatility trading is actually the derivatives over derivatives. It tells you what people are willing to pay, or how people price volatility in the market regardless of direction. So it's not about put and call options. It's more about I want to buy volatility. This is like the next step in how people do finance. Okay. And we saw that missing in crypto. And crypto is so volatile.
Yes.
It makes no sense that there is no such tool. So we created that. We built it as a DeFi platform. So the index itself is readily available. It's completely decentralized, and it's available through a Chainlink Oracle we've built with the Chainlink team. And then we've also built a trading system around it. Again, permissionless trading system. You connect with a wallet and you can do long or short. Short being I provide liquidity, and long being I'm buying a position. And you can do that for three main reasons. One, you have a speculation about volatility. You think volatility will increase or decrease. Right. And you can trade that and profit on that. Right. The second thing would be
either way it goes.
Either way it goes, regardless of where. Like, something big is happening. I'm not sure how the market will react, but the market will react. So, this would be a good trade. And people do that, with tens of billions of dollars around things all the time. And crypto is much more volatile. So that's like the one strategy. The second thing would be to hedge against black swan events. You're worried about something. You have a lot of assets in your portfolio. You just need a hedge. And the third, which is unique to crypto, is around impermanent loss. So when you provide liquidity to a DEX, you assume some risk around impermanent loss. And impermanent loss is caused by volatility. And if you are properly hedged by buying in volatility, you can actually offset some of this loss. And this is a huge market. Impermanent loss is very much present. And anybody that deposited in a DEX knows that. And this is actually a very swift solution to that. So for all these reasons, we created the crypto volatility index.
Right. I find it super fascinating to hear. My background is not financial, but I'm getting more and more informed, and the more I hear, the more I like it. So, and I guess the same goes for many people that are into crypto. You mentioned Chainlink oracles. What is the function of having built-in Chainlink oracles in your mechanism?
We needed because it's a decentralized system. We needed the index, the feed, to be decentralized as well. So if it's just a system and people can't verify what they see, then it just looks like a casino. I don't know. It just some guys say that this is the index now. How can we trust that? With this oracle, it makes it reliable, but also makes it composable. So maybe other developers or entrepreneurs want to include volatility in their in what they build, so they can use the same oracle.
Right. Okay. So in the recent Gogan summit, the last weekend of September, regarding Koti, the big news maybe that came out was that you are going to be developing JET, the first algorithmic stablecoin issued by Cardano. For people that don't know what stablecoins are, can you give like a 30-second definition of what is a stablecoin?
Sure. And first of all, it's important to know that we will be the issuer. Cardano are actually developing it. Stable coins are essentially like a pegged asset. Even the word stable is a bit confusing because they are as stable as the thing they're pegged to, right?
Right, exactly.
Mostly when people think about stable coins, they think about the US dollars. So there are a lot of stable coins, like the most popular stable coins are pegged to the US dollar. And what it means is that you hold a cryptocurrency that supposedly keep the value of $1 the entire time. So if you hold one stable coin, you essentially hold a digital version or cryptographic version of the dollar, right? Mm-hmm. And there are, various ways to actually achieve this mm-hmm. peg. Yeah. Some will just be collateral. So if I'm creating $1 million, I'm depositing $1 million. Some will be over collateral. I'm depositing, $3 million worth of ADA to get $1 million worth of stable coins. Yep. And the most sophisticated versions, and this will be JED, are actually algorithmic stable coins that uses a two-token mm-hmm. concept to create stability.
Okay, so this is how the JET, for example, sets itself apart from the other traditional stablecoins. I know you are not the developer, you are the issuers, but I presume that you have a pretty good grasp of the philosophy behind it. So what?
Oh yeah. We understand it completely. The white paper that Bruno created, and for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so just for people maybe that don't understand, so how can an algorithm determine the stability of a coin?
Okay, so first of all, it's important to note that with JED, you actually have two tokens involved, maybe even three. Two would be part of the design, and the third one will be ADA.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there is a stable coin itself, that's JED. Now there's another coin called the reserve coin. And the reserve coin purpose is to keep JED pegged to a US dollar. So let's say right now there's a great demand for JED and it's now priced over $1. So how do you offset that? You sell, so you sell JED, and selling it will decrease its price. You take the profits, you put that into, and you buy the reserve coin with it. So now you have more of that. Let's say JED price is now lower than $1. You use the reserve to buy JED from the market, increasing its price. And Cardano or ADA, the way ADA is involved is that in order to mint the reserve coin or to mint the stable coin, you need to send ADA to a contract, and that ADA is kept at a treasury. And this is what gives the value to these coins.
Understood. Why Koti? What is it that sets Koti apart from maybe other companies that might also be able to develop? I mean, I know you have a very cushy relationship with Cardano, but I mean, on a technical level, why did they choose you?
I think Cardano were looking for a partner that understands the entire system around it. So you need to have good technical background to understand how this works and to set up a lot of things. You need to have access to the market and understand what a token generation is and how to get it to the right people, exchanges, and so on. And the third, which is also critical, is understanding the regulation around these type of assets and being able to support the regulation with proper licenses and proper regulatory approach. And I think we ticked all three boxes. So here we are.
Sure. Okay, well, those are sort of my own questions regarding everything that's happening with Koti at the moment, like a sort of brief journey through time, with all that is Koti. We also have a bunch of questions that were given to me by input by people on Twitter from the Cardano and the Koti community, I presume. So maybe we can do like a quick fire and there's like a little AMA. So if you don't mind, I'll start reading them off and then shoot as you see fit.
All right.
Okay, First one is by a community member called Matti Winnetou. It says, if Koti is an issuer of JET, then is Jet really decentralized? What would happen to Jet if something bad happened to Koti?
Well, nothing bad will happen to Jet. Everything in this world was, beside nature maybe, was created by people, right? Mm-hmm. And Jet actually runs on smart contracts. So even if Koti, if something bad happened to Koti, the smart contracts will still work, and whatever Jet and reserve coins that were already in circulation will remain there, and people can still be able to mint and do the whole thing. Right. It still makes more sense when you're dealing with stable coins, which are part of payment systems, to have a company that can actually speak with the regulator, explain what we're doing, right. Govern it correctly, and do whatever is necessary. But other than Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto, everything else will create, and everything else, like you can point to people that are out there and helping this thrive. It does not make it centralized. It just means that people take care of it.
Right. Okay. Great answer. Next community question by Shona. When Jet?
So Jet is well under development. We're building a few things around it. Cardano is building a few things around it. We're also eagerly awaiting to see what the regulators in the US will say about stablecoins to make sure that we are properly ready. And when all of that is met, then Jet will be released. It won't be a long time from now.
Okay. Question by a community member, Donny. He says, for anything that you do with Koti, nowadays you need a KYC, know your customer. So his question is, will Koti be the only place to get Jet? And if you need an ID to exchange, if so, which countries will be allowed or restricted?
So a few things. Let's start from the last. You will not need KYC to use Jet. You will not need KYC to mint Jet. You will need KYC to mint the reserve coin, but only that. And for most people, they don't need to mint the reserve coin anyway. We're limiting that to accredited investors for various reasons. The second thing I want to answer is that you do not need KYC for everything in Koti. You just need KYC for things that are related to payments and staking. And the reason being is that, we are part of greater ecosystems, and we want to bridge between cryptocurrencies and traditional finance. Right. And that's the rule. Like, you can't pass the door if you don't do that. And enterprises we work with will just not jeopardize their business by not complying to
regulations.
So this is what, that's the reality, and we want to be big. This is part of the game. And you know what? You also see DeFi platforms now, like Aave do KYC. Mm-hmm. You see exchanges like Binance do KYC. So I think we were right in this approach all along.
Okay, excellent. So I can see there was a lot of interest in that particular question in the community. So that's also great to clear it up. Next one.
Yeah, but by the way, I get it. Like, people don't like doing KYC. Like, why should I provide my ID to someone? I get it. I completely get it. But it's just the reality of payments. But let's say for the crypto volatility index, when it's not about payments, we do not require KYC.
Okay,
we only take that when it's absolutely necessary for the
interacting with the traditional system. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, the next one's a bit long. I have to read it out. It's by Crystal Davis. Okay, he says, apparently one can only stake native tokens. So there's a possibility for people like me with ERC20 to convert mine. Question. And then he says, also, I read that you can convert ERC20 Koti to native tokens, possibly in the Viper wallet, but perhaps there is another way. So as many people like myself, I only own these tokens. I presume he's referring to ERC20 tokens, and less than 25,000, and I would love to stake them when possible. So I think he's saying that he would like to convert other tokens to Koti and then be able to stake it.
Yeah, so it's very, so the quick answer is yes, you can convert ERC20 tokens to native. You can do that through bridge.koti.io. Okay. It's also possible through Wabi, because Wabi listed both type of tokens. So yes, and I'm sure that when the Treasury is released and staking becomes limitless to people, then we will see a lot of people converting ERC20 to native, and by all means, you can go ahead and do that right now.
Fantastic. Next question from another community member. He actually asked a few questions. Borisat Adva, if I pronounce it correctly. He says, what is the value proposition of Koti? I guess he's referring to the value of the coin at some point. He says, I can see they are positioning for high-speed payments. Okay.
Yeah, so, we've built a blockchain that is suitable for payments. There aren't a lot of blockchains out there, or maybe none even out there that offer everything that we offer. And Koti is sort of like the gas fee to power these transactions. So as our network grows and as our ecosystem grows, so does the value of Koti.
Right, okay. Community question, community member WAMS, W-A-M-S. He says the minimum amount for staking Koti on Viper wallet is 25,000. Koti, I presume. Will this minimum amount be reduced to a more affordable amount anytime soon?
Yeah, so well, to begin with, that amount was set when Koti wasn't 50 cents like it is right now, and I do understand that this is actually serious money. But yes, the Treasury System means that there is no minimum, or the minimum will be ridiculously low, just to cover the transactional fee. I don't want people losing from staking with us. But yeah, that will solve that completely.
Okay, and I presume that this is something that might be happening quite soon.
We think that we can produce the first version this January.
Okay, great to hear. All right, community member Grant S. I don't know if it's Cardano or Koti community. He says the wait list for staking seems to be causing a lot of frustration. Is there a plan to have staking be as democratic and easy as on Cardano?
Yes, this is the Treasury. We will not lead white lists or the long queue that we have right now for staking when the Treasury is released. That will solve that as well.
Right. And then already along the lines of what we were talking about before, also Grant S, he asks, if the Viper wallet isn't approved in the USA, how is native Koti going to be integrated with Ledger for US citizens? KYC on Ledger, question mark?
There is no need for KYC on Ledger, and US citizens can deposit native Koti on Ledger as well. Okay,
we're getting there. Maybe like another 4 or 5 questions. So,
sure.
This request by community member Mila is not really a question. She requests that the Koti team create easy tutorials explaining how to use Viper Wallet and how it's linked to COTI Pay, etc. So if you can please make some.
We do have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have these tutorials, videos, all of that. Probably best to just ask that in our Telegram channel, and 10 community members will send a guide, and Michael and the admins will do the same thing as well.
Right. Okay. Next question by Titan Toys is very much along the lines you perhaps already answered, but in order to to acknowledge also this question, I'll just read it again. It says, what is good about crypto if it is slowly turned into something identical to what we had with the traditional finance, where banks and regulators make decisions for everyone? Slowly but surely, they will all force KYC, leaving the unbanked without options again. I guess it's referring to the unbanked also not having like a digital identity, the ones that don't have the identity. So.
Yeah, so that's like 2 different things, right?
Exactly.
People can be unbanked or underbanked because banks have no economical incentive to open branches where the economy is poor, right? Yeah. Crypto solves that completely because there are no infrastructure costs. Like you don't need to pay rent and employ people. So so that is.
That's a very good point, actually. That's a very good point to make.
Yeah. With regards to identity, there are also a lot of projects out there, and Cardano is working on that to be able to provide some sort of testament or ID to people that don't have proper IDs in their regimes.
Yep.
So that will be solved as well. And remember that crypto, especially around payments, is a lot about eliminating the middleman. The middleman can be the banks and so on. So it's a lot about cost reduction, instant settlement, ownership, lack of censorship. None of that is eliminated right now. But there needs to be some phase when we move, from old systems to new systems.
Yep.
But when you have, both systems working at the
Running
same time,
together,
that's when it's
yeah.
hardship. Yeah, but we are at this age now. We are in the cusp of this revolution, at the cutting edge of it, and this is why we see both systems. Our children may not live in such world, and they have no idea about the hardships we face right now. But this is why we have to build it now, and we have to take the bad with the good until everything is great.
Exactly. Question by Pervin76. How can I request the Koti card?
Oh, it's easy. You just through the Viper wallet, you just request a card. There's some wait list, but it now ramps up quite fastly, and you will get a card, and it's a beautiful card.
Next question already by somebody already answered the question. Again, Borisva Tada already sort of answers, but again, acknowledging the question. What is the point of owning a coin that issues a stable coin? I guess you explained the whole mechanism now of this.
Yeah. And again, it's different. ADA is different than JED, then different than the reserve coin, which is different from Koti.
Yeah.
All have different purposes.
Community member Crypto Copper asks, when can we stake in the USA and get the card in the USA specifically? So
that's actually something we're working on. We're taking a lot of consultancy from US attorneys. We just averse the risk. There are risks in the US for cryptocurrencies. Everybody are aware of that. When they will have more clarity, we will definitely be in the US. We do have obviously an appetite to work in the US, but right now, when there is no clarity, we can't just take that risk.
Yeah, because the US is in the process of coming out with their own regulation on the scale of the government, and I guess it'll take a little bit longer.
No, would love to see the regulation, but we just need to see the regulation to figure out how you're supposed to operate. When you don't have any clarity, you may be doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shauna asks, different type of question. How many community nodes do you see Koti approving over the next 12 months?
Quite a lot, actually. With Trust Chain 2.0 coming, our new mainnet, will definitely increase the number of nodes. We have 24 now, and we'll have a lot more the next 12 months.
Okay, ballpark?
I can't just give you a ballpark, but I will at least double than what we have right now, if not more.
Right, okay, perfect. And then the very last community question which is definitely a fan of Koti, because the Twitter handle is Koti is from out of the world. So he asks...
I know that guy, yeah.
Do you? Oh, great.
I just saw it on Twitter, I think, yeah.
Yeah, sure. He's asking, do you see any direct competition in the crypto industry to Koti? And what will you do to outpace any competition in your offerings to enterprises and government? I guess his main investments in Koti, and he wants to know you're doing okay.
I always say that crypto companies don't necessarily, or crypto protocols, not necessarily compete with one another. But what we are competing against is traditional finance, right? Any protocol that encourages enterprises to use blockchain for payments is my ally, is my friend, is definitely not my competitor. Yeah. We're all looking right now. We do not need to fight for this tiny market share. What we need to do is grow the market share and just have a bigger pie instead of fighting for crumbs. And I think any protocol with this mission is my friend and ally. I do not believe in crypto tribalism at all.
It's silly.
No, we all have room. Yeah, and we're all doing very different things, but we all operate for the same ideology. And I don't view this as competition at all.
Yeah, I think there are two very different things. There are people that just speculate on the value of whatever, in this case, crypto. And then there's people that are interested in the development of the industry. And I guess the two are not always necessarily compatible. So.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not a trader myself. I'm a builder, and I do see. I think we should create more and more situations where everybody wins instead of just fight each other. And this is why I do not participate in any crypto battles or dramas.
Yeah,
none whatsoever.
I know. Great. Well, to end the interview, we've come at the end. On which exchanges can people buy Koti at the moment, Koti coin, and where can people find you? Where can they find information about Koti if they would like to know more?
Yeah, so we're actually we're listed on many exchanges. To be honest, the top ones will probably be Coinbase, Binance, Wabi, KuCoin, just to name a few. But I think we are right now, last I've checked, we were on more than 30 exchanges and decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. So Koti is available. I dare you to not find us on an exchange. It's it's more difficult. If you want to follow Koti, you can just do it through Koti.io. That's our website, and then you can find us on Telegram, Discord, and Twitter, obviously, Koti Network. Myself, I'm Shahaf BG on Twitter and on all socials. We're pretty easy to find.
Thank you very much. I mean, Shahaf, it was a pleasure. We did it. We finally managed to get this interview going. So great.
Thank you, Alfred.
Great to see you again, and good luck with Koti.
Thank you so much, Alfred. I'll be here whenever you need me.
All right. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.